You have written about at foxnews.com an opinion piece, and it's, and you've talked about it, about the hypocrisy of, the Trump hysteria that he has these Russian connections and business and blah, blah, blah. We got to see his tax returns. Yet we know what Hillary did, especially when it came to uranium with Russia, and nobody cared then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty remarkable. I mean, look, I think all of us, me included, we want to know what the Russian government was trying to do to, cultivate relationships with any political leaders, any role they might have had in any sort of political hijinks, whether in 2016 or earlier. The problem is that there's a long track record of the Clintons and their highest-ranking aides being engaged in serious financial transactions on a massive scale with the Russian government and Russian officials while she was Secretary of State, and favorable policies and actions that she took that benefited the Russian government. And yet the same people that are now saying we need an independent counsel to investigate the fact that some of Donald Trump's former campaign aides had some level of contact, they had no interest in that subject before.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, to me, it just speaks to the fact that it seems to be more about politics than some principled concern about Russians trying to influence American politicians.
And the list goes on. And it begs this question. The Eric Holder Justice Department, they were never going to do anything about it. Obama was never going to do anything about it. Donald Trump maybe wants to be above the fray, maybe wants to bring the country together, but I don't believe in that when it comes to letting someone get a pass. Do you believe that he will, or the Justice Department will, or somebody will look into all this and prosecute her, and maybe him and maybe the foundation?
Yeah, I mean, what I've always said is that there needs to be a grand jury, or there needs to be a serious investigation about this. Look, this could be, Steve, a bunch of massive coincidences. I don't think it is, but it could be. That's the explanation. But the problem is we don't know. And the evidence pile as it relates to the Clintons, these transactions, these favorable decisions, is legions ahead of any evidence of deal-making between, Trump's team and the Russians. So, my view is that this ought to be looked at a congressional level, and there ought to be a grand jury convened to look at the evidence involving the Clintons, and we can settle once and for all whether there was criminal conduct or not. I think otherwise, it becomes this question where people say, well, she's not president, what's the big deal? This is what drives people crazy. This argument that certain people are above the law, because the very same people that are saying we should not look at Hillary now because she's not president would be saying we shouldn't look at her because she's president had she won. And that's a perfect example of what you call a rigged system.